Upon completing the budget exercise, what have you learned? Yes, a MOOC can be costly. No matter how prudent you are, if you have to pay for every service that contributes to the project, a 6-module social MOOC of a decent quality would easily cost you anywhere between 45,000 and 60,000 Canadian dollars. The social MOOC is a very new concept, and most funders have not heard about it. You may encounter great difficulty finding a funder who is willing to fund a MOOC project. In the nonprofit sectors nowadays, even for a project that's based on a proven model, hardly any funders would pay 100% of the project cost. Then look at how many other contributors you have to evaluate the project's community outreach, capacity, financial viability, and sustainability beyond the current funding cycle. So before you start thinking about where you can find this much money, I want you to go back to the previous session and take a long and hard look at the list of human resources that a MOOC may demand. If your organization does not have any of the listed human resources, how can you convince the funder that you have the capacity for your proposed MOOC project? Usually, the organization should already employ someone who can be the instructor or the subject matter expert who can put the course materials together. You may say, yes, I found a team of staff in my organization who have the skills and experience required to fill some of these important roles, but everyone is loaded with their own jobs. No one can afford the time to work on this project. Well, there are ways to work it out. Here I would like to remind you of the case study we did in Module 3, Oliver's MOOC story. Do you still remember how Oliver gathered all the resources he needed for a MOOC? After studying Oliver's experience, we can summarize his resource development approach in the following 4 strategies. First, repurpose existing resources. If your organization is already doing training, moving part of your training services online would still meet the founder's mandate and add more efficiencies to your services. In Oliver's case, he's given part of the organization's capacity building funding to produce a MOOC that will not only build capacity for his own organization and close allies, but also benefit the entire sector. As we analyzed in Module 2, your MOOC's function has to be either part of the existing services or an improvement or extension of the existing services. If that's the case, funders generally would not discourage you from experimenting with new service delivery models, as long as you can produce the same or bigger outcomes. Second, find Findbolo and volunteer resources. All cost-based organizations are built on volunteer efforts. Check your volunteer pool to see if you can find requisite skills and expertise, and ask the volunteers if they'd like to work on the project on a pro bono basis or for a much reduced fee. If the commitment is too big, you probably should find a roster of volunteers who can each take a manageable portion of the work. We are fortunate to have volunteers to assist with all our MOOC projects in all kinds of capacities. Although saving money is a priority, we need to be very sensitive about using volunteers for a payable job. If the volunteer does the type of job for a living and it's a professional quality you're requesting, you should be paying a decent fee. If the volunteers are willing to donate all or part of their professional services to the organization, the in-kind contribution should be well recognized. Third, use interns and co-op students. Senior students in high schools and universities and young graduates are constantly looking for meaningful internship and co-op opportunities. Your MOOC project can be attractive to them. University students are the biggest demographic group that are familiar with MOOCs. They are also generally savvier with computer games and new e-learning technologies than older generations. They can be a great resource if you need some coding and programming support. They could be good helpers in a social media campaign for promoting your MOOC too. This can be a win-win arrangement. Fourth, build partnerships. I hope you still remember how Oliver leveraged partnerships to resolve the problems with his funding shortage. I can't emphasize enough that partnership is key in social MOOCs. Partners can not only share the cost of the project, they can also add other resources, different perspectives, and skill sets, and may open up other opportunities for the projects. The value of partnerships simply cannot be overstated.